In the history of the British monarchy, there is a before and an after when it comes to privacy. Before 1950, the royal family relied on a sacred, unwritten code of silence. After 1950, that silence was shattered by a single book. Today, we are deconstructing the story of Marion Crawford, affectionately known as Crawfie, the woman who was the ultimate insider, until she became the ultimate outcast. This is the clinical reconstruction of the first royal tell-all and the birth of the modern secrecy protocol. Welcome back to Monica's Pie. I'm Santa, and today we are looking at the heavy price of breaking the Oyster Code. If you think modern royal memoirs are scandalous, you need to understand the woman who started it all. Marion Crawford was the governess to Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret for 17 years. She saw their tantrums, their habits, and their most vulnerable childhood moments. But in 1950, she did the unthinkable. She published The Little Princesses. Babe, be serious. By today's standards, the book feels almost charming. Crawfie described the daily lives of the sisters, how they had a habit of biting their nails, or the exact layout of their bedrooms. She famously described living in the palace as like camping in a museum. But she went deeper. She wrote about the king and queen's secret disappointment at not having a son, and their hesitation when it came to Elizabeth choosing a husband. She even shared an incredibly intimate moment when Elizabeth hugged her and cried with joy while announcing her first pregnancy, saying, "They've brought my old pram out." To the public, these stories were gold. People were starving for a glimpse into the human side of royalty, and the book became an international bestseller. But to the palace, this wasn't sharing memories, it was a high-level security breach. The Queen Mother had explicitly warned Crawfie in a letter that those trusted by the family must remain as silent as oysters. When the book hit the shelves, the royal family didn't just get angry, they erased Marion Crawford from their lives. The fallout was absolute. The family she had served for nearly 2 decades branded her a traitor. She was forced to vacate her Grace and Favor home at Kensington Palace and spent the rest of her life in total isolation. The bitterness lasted for generations. When Crawfie died in 1988, not a single member of the royal family attended her funeral. Not a single wreath was sent. It was a cold, institutional execution of a legacy. While the public loved the book, the media at the time was surprisingly hostile. Newspapers mocked her, pointing out the irony of a woman who plainly explains how secrets should be kept while simultaneously selling them. They saw it as a betrayal of trust. However, modern historians argue that Crawfie didn't intend to be scandalous. She thought she was presenting a sweet and simple image of the monarchy. She didn't realize that in the eyes of the crown, there is no such thing as a harmless secret. The legacy of the Little Princesses changed the British monarchy forever. This scandal marked the end of the era of moral obligation. After Crawfie, the palace realized that loyalty could no longer be left to chance or gentlemen's agreements. They introduced formal, legally binding confidentiality clauses into every staff contract. This was the birth of the modern gag order. From that moment on, any servant or confidant who dared to pick up a pen faced not just social exile, but severe legal and financial ruin. Marion Crawford's story is a cautionary tale about the boundaries of royal intimacy. She believed she was a friend, a mother figure, and a confidant, but the institution taught her and the world that in the shadow of the throne, you are either a servant of the silence or a casualty of the truth. If you want to understand the architecture of royal secrets and how the Oyster Code still governs the palace today, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Monica's Pie and tell me in the comments, was Crawfie a traitor or was she just a woman who wanted to share the humanity of the princesses she loved? I'm Santa, and this was the true story of the woman who broke the silence. Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.